explaining things in Stranger Things that was deemed a plot hole because either you wasn't paying attention or you just don't understand. Somebody said a send off for a friend group that never existed. They've been spending time fighting monsters together. Season 4 to season 5 was a 18-month time jump. They was hosting a radio show together, and between the season and the last episode, there was the epilogue. There was another 18-month jump. They were still spending time together before everybody went their own separate ways. Did the pregnant women survive, and will we be seeing the kids in the spinoff? It was said that they were already dying, and I'm pretty sure the whole upside down like was taken over by the wormhole, so they're gone. What happened to Argyle? And then people also say what happened to Susie and Susie's sister. Argyle does not live in Hopkins. He lives in California. He went back home. I forgot where Susie lives, but it's not in Hopkins. Also, her and Dustin broke up because she was changing her grave for him, and they already weren't supposed to be together because her dad wasn't gonna allow it. So they broke that off forever. That's what happened to her and her sister. I don't understand why Joyce, Will, and Jonathan were living with the Wheelers for 18 months and not finding a way to live with Hopper and Elle. Well, Hopper is supposed to be dead and Elle is supposed to be missing, so there's that. Why were the Demogorgons attracted to blood in the first season and they're not anymore? There's still a lot that's supposed to be explained about the other dimension because there's supposed to be a spin-off like regarding that and the Mind Flayer and stuff. But basically you can assume that that's their natural way to hunt. Later on in the season, the Demogorgons were controlled by Vecna, so that's why they didn't need the blood to find who they were finding, because the command that Vecna was giving them, that's what they were following. Will being gay didn't add anything meaningful to the story. Well, him being gay is the whole reason why he's even vulnerable in the first place. So that's the whole reason why he was the first kid taken. So I think it's a little meaning. Why did Vecna attack people in the fourth season if all he needed was vessels? The 4 people that he attacked was to permanently open a gate from the upside down to Hopkins. So that has nothing to do with the vessels. The vessels were for his personal strength. So we have the gate that needs to be open, and then him making himself stronger. Those are 2 different things. Max on her skateboard after the accident was one of the most unbelievable parts of the finale. Maybe, but also at the same time, she was in a coma for 18 months. Her bones were healing. When we skipped to the final, that was another 18 months of her probably going to therapy and all that. Now that I think about it, how did the Demo Dogs keep finding Lucas in the hospital? They have a sense of smell, basically, because when you think about it, when they got into the laundry room and they were quiet looking for them, they did not know exactly where they were. They know they smelled them in there somewhere, but they didn't know exactly where they were. You're telling me Vecna needed Will to tell him where Max was in the only hospital in Hopkins? Wait, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Hawkins. Oops. My thing is, either you can search the whole hospital, or you can get the exact location. Like, which one you think he would do? How did Will not die with the hive mind when hurting Vecna also hurt him? He's connected to the hive mind, not a part of the hive mind. So when the hive mind and Vecna and all that stuff died, he didn't die with it because he disconnected from it. He's not a part of it. They're all a part of each other. He connected to it, he disconnected from it. How did Joyce and Hopper fail to realize Henry when they were in high school together? I don't feel like it was enough time to talk about that. They didn't see Joyce didn't see Vecna until a few days before the attack or whatever, and Hopper didn't see him until the actual attack. So like when did they have time to have a conversation about that when they haven't seen him before? But they did end up having a conversation off screen, so the writers say. Mike and Nancy said that they should talk to each other more. They said it back in season 1, and then they really never had another conversation again until season 4. It's assumed that a lot of characters that don't really interact with each other have conversations off screen, because realistically, within the show, with everything that's going on, it's not really enough time for all that, for real. So just like we seen that Jonathan, Joyce, and them, they lived at the Wheeler's house for 2 years, you could assume that, of course, he talked to his sister within the past 2 years. Also, I can't find a post, but people have been questioning why Dustin was he graduated at the top of his class, and it's just like he's been the smartest person in the show. Like I think one episode he stole books from the library because they wouldn't let him take the books because he had already took out too many books. Like he's the smartest. He's the smartest one. Like one of the smartest people in the show. Like it's not surprising that he graduated at the top of his class. This is not a plot hole, but somebody said, is it me or is Jonathan Byers' hair getting worse every season? And it's the 80s. Everybody's hair is getting worse every season. Let me know some more plot holes because I watched the show inside out and upside down, so I might know how to explain it.